Hello everyone, today we're going to be diving into the power of Copilot to see what it can do for us to make the development easier and more streamlined in VS Code. Specifically, we're going to be using Copilot to create, test, and deploy an end-to-end Java application to Azure Container Apps. So let's go ahead and get started. So we'll ask the Copilot using the Ask feature what type of project we should create and what the file structure should look like. So my goal is to create a simple Hello World Java project on the Spring framework. Can you propose a project structure? Feel free to ask any clarifying questions before starting. I have found that this is a really good thing to put at the end of your prompts. It keeps the AI from getting confused and allows it to ask questions. So now we have switched over to the agent mode, and I like to use Claude 3.7. I feel it's a bit better at generating the code, and we will ask it to test the application that was generated initially. And we can see here now that it's working through the different code and the different files. So in this case, one of the issues it found is that there's a typo in the pom.xml. So it will fix it automatically, which is amazing. And you can see that it's printing out each and every step as it goes. And when needed, it will ask for permission. So in this case, it wanted to run something in the terminal and test to see if it works. You can also manually go and try to fix issues. So in this case, we can see there's an issue with the import statement. So we can ask Copilot to fix it, and we can go line by line looking at problems. So once we have used Copilot to solve any issues, we can actually use an MCP server to deploy it to Azure Container Apps. In this case, I'm asking it to deploy into a specific subscription. And again, I'm telling it that it can ask any clarifying questions. So we can see that it's asking for permission. I'm just going to say allow to run these commands for this project. So we can see that there was an authentication error, and now it's asking some clarifying questions. So again, there was another authentication error. It's asking me to log in again using a device code. So I'll go ahead and do that and let it know when I've signed in. And we can now see that it successfully signed in. It's able to access the subscription, and now it's running automatically. It's running it's creating the resource group called RGAYGUPT. It's going to build the Docker image. It is also creating the Azure Container Registry now. And you can see there's some errors with logging into the ACR instance. So it's debugging and trying to overcome those issues, which it did successfully. And now it's pushing the image to the registry. And we can follow along on the Azure portal. We can see that the Azure Container Registry is there. We can see that the resource group was created. All right, so now it's doing the final steps. It is now deploying everything to our resource group. And we can see that everything was successfully deployed. And we have now been given a link that we can use to access the live site. So we'll go ahead and copy that, paste that into a browser, and there we have it, Hello World. We successfully deployed a site to Azure Container Apps using just Copilot to do everything from writing the code to debugging to even deploying using the Azure CLI MCP server. What used to be less intuitive is now very intuitive. You can use simple spoken English to get code written and deployed to the cloud. I hope you enjoyed following along, and we will see you soon.